Welcome back to the Movement is Medicine podcast. Dr. Gene Shirakabrad here with Dr. Megan Weezer. Dr. Corey, I am really good at telling jokes. How?
Yes. If you haven't watched that video yet, you should. We had our Thanksgiving Day
Bad jokes.
bad joke. Try not to laugh challenge. If you haven't watched it, put your guesses on who won in the comment section below.
I think they could probably figure that out based on your introduction on what that was.
Yeah, that's kind of implying.
We'll see.
Biased. But yeah, you never know.
Every
We're
correct
all
answer will get a
winners.
like.
I'm
What
sorry.
did you say?
Every correct answer will get a like.
Wait.
I'll like it.
Did you say we're all winners?
Yeah. We all got to laugh.
I was going to say. That's very un-Jersey of you. We're all winners. Everyone gets the blue ribbon.
Oh, no. I don't mean. Okay, never mind.
Because everyone laughed. You just meant in that video,
Yeah.
we're all winners.
We're all winners
Yeah.
because everybody got to laugh.
That was very funny.
It was funny.
That was very funny.
It's going to fall on me. And
Going to scare you and the dog.
yeah.
It will scare the
it's
dog.
done that before.
Yep. And it will do it again.
Oh, now to go.
Hey, we have Thanksgiving coming up.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I'm just going to start throwing words in just to see
You're
if you pick up.
missing an entire letter.
No, I'm going to give in. I'm
Thanksgiving.
in a given mood. I'm in a given mood, so I'm going to take some letters away.
Thanksgiving.
I'm going to take some letters away. We got Thanksgiving coming up.
I know.
What are you guys going to be doing for Thanksgiving?
Going to my uncle's
Where's that?
in New Jersey. I'm driving up to my parents on Wednesday, and I will hopefully see my friend Holly, who lives in Tampa, because she'll be back.
Tampa, New Jersey.
No, Tampa, Florida.
Oh. She lives in Tampa, Florida,
She
but
lives
you're
in
going to
Tampa,
see her
Florida.
in New
I'm
Jersey.
going to see her in New Jersey because we're both from home. We went to high school together.
Hmm.
And then on Thanksgiving, we usually go to my uncle's. And actually, 2 of my cousins had babies this year, so there will be more little children.
Babies
There.
at Thanksgiving.
Babies in Thanksgiving, yeah.
Hmm.
It'll be fun.
Sure.
My uncle, it's the kind of house where he's like,
Drunk.
get out of my kitchen and go get a drink. And I'm like, say no more.
That's all you need to say?
Yeah.
What about you, Cor?
We've been invited a few places. We're pretty popular. So
I'm not asking you what you're not doing. I'm
Haven't
asking
narrowed it
you
down
what you
yet.
are doing.
Carrie and I are. Don't tell anyone,
Okay.
Okay.
but we are going to surprise our families back home in Michigan for Thanksgiving.
That's nice.
We haven't been home to Michigan in, I think, since last Christmas. So it'll be a good time. We'll surprise them and somehow be colder than it is here.
Or it
It'll be
might be
good.
warmer. You never know.
Yeah.
Could be completely
I
ass
don't know.
backwards.
It's snowing there right now. So,
Ew.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Snow during the holidays got a little magical feel to it.
It is
Well,
fun to
not
play
exactly.
play Thanksgiving football in the snow.
Hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not play football?
I just,
Or do you not
I
like
don't
snow?
imagine Thanksgiving with snow.
Did I tell you guys how I broke my collarbone?
You
Play
have not?
football?
Yeah.
End of story. Thanks.
We were on it was a snow day in college, and it was super cold. It was
You had
like
snow days in college?
Michigan gets a lot of snow,
Mhm.
so a snow day in college here is like 2 inches.
Yeah.
A snow day in college in Michigan would be like 15 inches, and
I don't remember too
Negative
many snow
wind
days
chill.
in college.
Yeah,
I feel like you had to go to class no matter what.
I remember having a handful.
yeah.
Or I'd get there and they'd be like, class canceled. Then I'd turn
That's the
around.
worst when you
Mm.
already are there. So anyway, class was canceled, so we went out and played football in the snow, and I wanted to do a front flip,
Naturally, as one does.
as one does. There was a sign.
Oh, there's more.
Yep. We're at a golf
Mhm.
course, and
Okay.
there was a sign that said, I don't remember the golf course name, Clio Country Club, whatever, and there was a snowbank behind the sign. I was like, that is a perfect spot to do a front flip over the sign.
Said the man about to break his collarbone.
and land in a soft, fluffy snowbank.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
It just snowed a bunch. Well, I was mistaken because
Spoiler alert.
I did the front flip. Fine. I landed in what I thought was the snowbank, but it was a cement staircase
Oh my
with
God.
a thin layer of snow,
Oh.
just enough to cover it so I couldn't see the edges.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Crunched my collarbone in 2 spots. Nearly, it was on the border of like mandatory surgery and no
Mhm.
surgery. And luckily, the surgeon was like, "Yeah, we could do surgery or we could not, and you'll probably be okay." So,
You were like, okay, that's good
Yeah.
enough for me.
yeah, so I didn't do surgery and everything's back to normal.
Well,
But
collarbone at least wise.
yeah, so that's like the second to last time that I've played backyard football. So that's where that story
You
came
did
from.
not break your collarbone playing football.
The-
Let's make that crystal
yeah,
clear.
I was wrong in
Yes.
that guess.
You broke your collarbone because you decided to flip
Yeah,
onto a
I didn't even
staircase.
play football. We had just got there and we were walking down to like the open area. And I was like, "Oh, cool, a sign." Crack.
Mm.
But it was so cold. It was literally, it was 7 degrees actual temperature, below 0 like wind chill. And it was so
No.
cold,
Mm-mm.
I knew something was wrong, but it was so cold it didn't hurt that bad
Yeah.
yet. I just couldn't move it.
Numbed
So,
it.
so I sat there and they're like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys go ahead and start. I'm going to have to sit here for a second and just like assess." This is a long story for no reason, but
yeah.
you don't realize, like I had to drive home.
Yeah.
After that point when I realized, all right, I think I broke something. I wasn't in PT school yet, but I figured something was wrong. I couldn't move my arm. So I walked back up to the car and I get to the car, open the door, and I get in and I look to the left and the car door is open and I can't move my arm to reach the car door. So then I have to I'm like doing this type of deal, trying to reach, and it just hurts. So it took me like 10 minutes to be able to get in the car, close the door. And by the time I got the door closed, the seatbelt's on the left side too. And
Oh,
I can't reach
no.
that. And your collarbone, like if you rotate and
Yeah.
it broke, it just kind of like, so I'm like here trying to reach it, can't do it. And I wasn't going to drive without a seatbelt because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Mm. So you just sat there in the car
I
freezing?
just sat there. Yeah, I eventually got it. I just sucked it up and did that. But
And that's how it crunched on the second spot.
that's probably, yeah, I was probably fine until that part.
Oh, man. How old were you when that happened? Is it high school?
No, it was college.
Oh,
I
college.
think I was 19 or 20.
Okay, so no excuse.
No, absolutely no excuse.
Just bad decisions.
Mhm.
It's interesting. What I want to talk, we'll get to what I want to chat about on this podcast to go with the Thanksgiving theme and family. But it is interesting having an injury that you've never had, but even like if you conceptually know and how you troubleshoot it and the adrenaline that kicks in. Like, have you ever had? Never mind.
Megan's been injured a lot.
What were you gonna ask?
I was being facetious. What I was going to say, have you ever had a serious injury? But we can say pick one. But think about your first one. Like I remember in high school, I played football and baseball in high school, but so I was training a lot. I was working out a lot. But I remember being in the gym once and working out next to a squat rack, and there was a misplaced 25-pound plate because they usually go a little bit lower, but it was higher up. And I remember seeing it, but not thinking about it. I was like,
Mhm.
it's there, and I went back to lifting. And there was a guy squatting, and he threw the barbell back. He didn't do anything wrong. It's just he had a lot of weight on. And as he did that, the 25-pound plate fell off and landed on my foot.
Mm.
And like it was like one of those slow motion
Oh my
moments. And I'm
God.
like, boom.
Yeah.
And it was almost like your collarbone. I was like, that can't be good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hurt a ton.
Same exact thing happened when I fell on the ice skating rink.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. I mean, I was limping a little bit. I finished working out, went back in the locker room, took my shoe off, and my entire sock was red with blood. Like it was just drenched.
Oh my God.
in
Jeez,
blood.
Yeah.
But I didn't even process it because it was I literally finished working out. So I ended up having a crush fracture on top of the toe. Went to urgent care. Took I was like, look at this, look what I can do. And the most painful part of that entire thing was them doing the numbing shots because they had to do it like in the webbing of my toes to numb it
Hmm.
because they had to drill like the hot poker had to go into the nail to drain the fluid because they had to stitch it up like right on top of the toe because it literally like exploded on top. So they had to stitch like if this is the second toe is the second toe, they had to stitch. How many of our listeners are throwing up right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the needle went in the webbing, like in there in the toes, and that was literally the worst part of that entire thing. Not even the plate falling down. So it's interesting how the human body instantly starts to protect you and starts to move that along. So that was a fun conversation.
Moving on.
Speaking of fun conversations, what I wanted to chat about today, going on with family and Thanksgiving and moving away from like your bubble of expertise in your daily conversations, I was curious about like the things that your family asks you as a medical professional during the holidays. Like, do you get
As a medical professional?
yeah, do you get bombarded
Oh.
with what are the types of things that come at your way at the Thanksgiving table or like get pulled aside? Like, do you get questions like do family members go like, okay, Megan's coming. Here's my list of all the things wrong with me that I need to cover on
So
Thanksgiving.
it's funny. My dad's side and my mom's side, they both ask questions, but I get more pissed off with one side.
Which side is
Interesting.
which?
Yeah.
So, like, on my mom's side, my cousins and I will like chat about certain things, but it's less of like them specifically asking me, and like they'll mention something and then I'll inquire about it because they don't understand that it's a question that they can ask me.
Yeah.
And then we'll chat about it. Like cousins on that side, like I've FaceTimed with and have gone over things with them, and like they're receptive to my advice. On my dad's side, and if any of my aunts are listening, you fucking know you're exactly like this.
You know who you are. No lies.
No, we
are
don't usually
spoken.
go. We don't usually see my dad's side for Thanksgiving. It's usually my mom's side. But I don't remember what holiday it was, but I remember my aunt was asking me something about her shoulder, and I don't remember what it was, but I told her what I thought. She was like, "Oh no, that's not what my doctor says." And I was like, "Then why do you ask?" And my cousin, her son, was like, "Ma, if you're gonna drill her with all these fucking questions, why don't you just take her advice?" So then, like, me and my aunt get back and forth, and I'm like, so like that side, I don't even like. I'm not a PC. I'm off the clock. But my mom's side, like, we'll have intelligent conversations about things. But my dad's side, they're all very like Dr. Google.
Mm,
And they get their MDs from Google.
that always turns out well.
Yeah. So
Always works out well for
Um,
people.
it's funny. I mean, and it's been a while since I've seen them, honestly, because of COVID and all that for the last few years. And it's just interesting with the political climate of the last 2 years, which family members have avoided other family members too, actually.
Yeah.
That sounds like a different topic for a different day.
Oh yeah. Well,
Corey's like,
I'm
please
just
don't,
saying
please
I
don't,
haven't
please
seen
don't, please
a
don't.
handful of people
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
for so long for certain reason, and it's not. Well, I guess it is kind of political, but it's also scientific too. But yeah,
Mhm.
so it's kind of funny.
What about you guys?
I just had a thought that sometimes I feel like when people approach me, either like Facebook messages of old friends or parents of friends that have reached out, sometimes it's like they just want assurance
Mhm.
that what they're doing is fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the more they're not always receptive when you tell them that what you're doing is not helpful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but even though it may not be, but I don't know. I tend to toe the line a little bit of telling them they're full of crap or their doctor's full of crap. Sometimes, like,
Well, it depends on the person too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, depending on how close you are to. Like, if I haven't talked to somebody in 7 years, I'm not gonna.
And if you know who
Yeah.
you can say like, no, that's full of shit.
Yeah,
Versus, like, there's just certain people you can't really tell that to and have them actually believe it.
yeah. But like you said, how you'll go through your spiel and then that person says, "Well, that's not what my doctor says." it's almost like they just want to tell you what the doctor says.
Yeah.
So you can say,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's good. Or
There
or
was
whatever.
this is very sexist, but there was a joke. I think it was Chris Rock that said it. He said that I think it was in relation to marriage. He said women or your wife doesn't want to hear what you think. They want to hear what they think in a deeper voice.
Yeah.
And I think this is the same kind of what you're alluding to. Is like people don't really want to hear what you think. They want to hear what they are biased towards
Right.
from a second person.
Or they want to tell you what they're doing, but not just come out and say it. So they'll say, hey, what do you think I should do about this? And then you say what you
Yeah.
say, and they're not listening. And they just say, because I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But how about this instead?
Yeah.
How about this?
Because this feels nice.
Yeah. What do you think about that? That's really hard, and I think at this point my family doesn't speak to me because,
For a lot of reasons.
but mostly, um,
No one's surprised.
but mostly because I mean we've had many conversations because I've been obviously practicing a little bit longer than you guys, but I've gotten to the point where what'd you say? What'd you say?
Nothing.
Would you like a matching collarbone?
Damn.
Collarbone's fired. I've made a personal decision years ago that I would not say what people want to hear. Like if they're asking me medical advice or my medical thoughts, then it's my duty as a medical professional to give them the best advice possible.
Yeah.
So
You have to frame it in a
yeah,
good
I
way,
stopped
though,
doing
I
that
feel
though.
like.
I stopped doing that too.
We
I gave
know.
up on that. I do ask a clarifying question. I asked, do you really want to know what I think, or do you want to know something that makes you feel better? And they're not always the same thing, right? If you
Mhm.
truly want to know what I think, I will tell you what I think, and you do what you want with it.
Mhm.
I am not going to get into a discussion or debate about the issue. I don't have your full medical history. I don't know the nuance of the situation. If you would like my thoughts, here they are, and that's it. Take it and leave it. And I think that's the flip side of like what we do day in and day out. Like day in and day out, when our members ask us, when we're actually managing people's health, like you can't just be like, here's the truth, here's the reality, deal with it. Like then you have to have a little more nuance. But I think that's really tough in a 5-hour or 4-hour spot with your family where they're just like,
Well, it's also an environment where like most people, like everybody else, is off the clock, so to speak.
Mhm.
Right? Like it's an environment where we're supposedly supposed to enjoy ourselves and our family and getting back together.
I'm very open. Like with my friends and family, they know they have an open invitation. Like if anything ever happens, to call or email, I have no problem helping them out or go working through it. But I think it's different when people kind of come in locked and loaded for those conversations where they know you will be there and they can just kind of unload. They're like, here it is, blah 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 blah,
Yeah, that's true.
and then you really
Yeah.
don't know. Do they really want an answer, or is it more I'm coming in for this debate discussion? Because
Yeah.
people don't always want an answer. Sometimes they just want to have that soundboard, or sometimes they do want to argue, knowing that this is where you'll stand, right? Like you could pretty much any answer could be it depends, right? It could be like, hey, it depends,
Yeah.
it depends, it depends,
Mhm.
and they'll be like, all
That's
right,
a joke in PT school.
Here we
Every
go.
question you ask the professor, it depends.
Yeah.
That is the answer though, usually. In like most cases, especially if it's like a one-off
Yeah.
like chat at dinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you people in a year. Maybe more.
And I think that's it. It does depend on the person. Speaking of depends, some people are just like confrontational people. They don't want to necessarily get an answer. They want to get a rise out of you, or they want to have more of a confrontation.
I don't think that's any of my family. I think they're genuinely looking for answers, and I try to help. It's just not always what
Yeah,
they
I
want.
think most
Yeah.
people are.
I think in my experience too, it's like my answers are not a quick fix.
Mhm.
So then
Yeah.
they're left like
Oh, okay.
frustrated or like, oh well, that wasn't helpful. Like,
Yeah.
well, it is to understand time frames and what's actually going to promote change to you rather than making you feel a little better in the short term.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of the tough conversation to have with people.
What I find funny is like you mentioned about physician, and I mean we're picking on physicians because that's usually who family members will see, and that's the opinion that they trust the most. But I always ask the question like, well, yeah, I saw my physician, or I saw the physician. They said this. I'm like, how much time did you spend with your physician? Like,
That's a good question.
like 5 minutes. I'm like, well, I just spoke to you for 15 minutes. So
Right.
we already spent three times more time, or three as much time on this conversation than you and your physician. Like, what
Three
what
as much.
what are,
time.
what are you what are you equating here? Do you want me to pick up on every single time you say something wrong, New Jersey? Huh?
It's just the theme for today.
Don't forget who edits these podcasts, because I will start highlighting the
Oh, boy.
shit out of it
Yeah.
in big bold letters every time you say
I
something.
don't think I misspeak
New
that
Jerseyan.
much. Huh?
I'll start keeping track. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Hungry.
Me too. Me too. All right, you guys looking forward to Thanksgiving? Let's close it out.
Let's say our favorite Thanksgiving food
Oh,
Yeah.
What? Why?
because it's Thanksgiving.
last week by the time people hear it, but yeah.
I like sweet potatoes the best.
Like straight up sweet potatoes or sweet potato casserole.
I like sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, because it's like a dessert.
Yeah.
It is, right?
That and I like stuffing.
I like stuffing.
I like
Oh, do you guys say stuffing or do you say dressing?
Stuffing.
what? It is not dressing, it is stuffing.
I agree, but I'm just.
Who says
Oh.
dressing?
I don't know what area of the country, but I've heard it called dressing before.
They're wrong.
It should be annexed.
Turkey or ham?
Turkey.
And ham.
What's better? I know that Thanksgiving is known for turkeys, but if you had to choose
we
one
only
meat
have
to eat,
turkey at Thanksgiving, and we do ham at Easter.
Christmas, do you do ham?
What do we do at Christmas? I don't know.
Whatever Santa brings.
I prefer ham. I think ham is the superior meat.
Mm.
I'll get a little bit of turkey, but don't listen, Mom. Maybe it's just every time I've had it, it's dry. I don't know. I don't know.
Damn.
Maybe I just haven't had a great turkey, but
You
I've
put
been.
gravy on your turkey?
He doesn't mix foods.
No, gravy is good.
Do you mix foods on Thanksgiving, or do you have them like all separate on your plate?
So funny story.
We got another story.
got
Yeah,
another one.
it's
Here we go. Let me get comfy.
it's Corey's dad's story.
Okay.
frog balls.
Those are funny.
Yeah, my dad's really goofy, and we're at I don't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, but he took all of his food and just like piled it on top of each other, and then like stirred it
Oh
around.
my god.
And I think he just does it to get a rise out of like my niece, who was probably 6 at the time. I don't know, 6 or 7. And he did that. And then she's like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "It's easier to make poop this way." Like, I don't know if he just sits there and comes up with this stuff and like, "Oh, I can't wait till Thanksgiving. I'm gonna say this joke."
People come at you with a list of injuries and aches they want to talk about. He's like, here's my list.
It was so good.
And that is funny.
I could see you doing that though.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does.
Well, that's where I get it
you
from.
Yeah, exactly. We know
The apple
exactly where he
doesn't
gets
fall
it
far
from.
from the tree.
No. Oh my god.
I like both if possible. My mother-in-law, because we used to go to their house for Thanksgiving, she had both. So she did all the cooking, which is why I love Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
But definitely turkey, and they would have salted ham. So it's like incredible. Like, have you ever had salted
I
ham?
don't think
I
so.
mean,
It's
I
like
don't
super
think-
salty, really dry type of ham.
oh no.
But it's really, really good, especially like if you mix it with mashed potatoes, as long as
That's-
you don't like oversalt the mashed potatoes.
That's what I was gonna say. I think mashed potatoes might be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, I could just
No.
eat a giant bowl of mashed
Yep.
potatoes.
Nope.
But turkey is good when you mix the turkey and the mashed potatoes with the gravy on top. That's pretty good. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I made the most delicious mashed potatoes. We're going on a mashed potato tangent here.
Mhm.
I made the most delicious mashed potatoes last week. So I cooked them like regularly with boiled potatoes and then some butter and everything. But then I put in cream cheese into it and a little bit of almond milk and
You-
mixed it together. So it was creamy and just a little bit of sweetness because it
How do you
wasn't.
milk an almond?
They
Just
have nipples.
They are kind of pointy.
That's going to be the thumbnail
Oh
of
my
the, of the
God.
podcast. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? the same way you milk everyone.
Oh.
I'm actually of all the foods, of all the holidays, I'm a traditionalist with Thanksgiving. Like I'm usually very experimental with things, but I love a traditional Thanksgiving.
So like
Turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberries, stuffing,
Yeah, same.
green beans.
Oh, green bean casserole. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love green bean casserole.
Well, it's green, so.
Shots fired.
She's not wrong.
There's like cream of mushroom soup in it, right?
I think
Not
it really
always.
depends.
Everybody makes it
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah. My brother-in-law Dave, shout out Dave, he does make good green bean casserole. If I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna eat his.
Yeah.
But
I've had it with
I
like
don't love it.
bacon bits, and it's like baked, so it's not like
I'll pick out the bacon.
yeah.
My uncle will make like this big thing of roasted veggies, and he'll put Brussels sprouts in there and like pancetta or bacon, and he'll throw like apples or turnips in there too. So good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I think it depends who cooks it and how well it's cooked.
Pumpkin pie? Do you like pumpkin pie?
No.
Yes.
You don't like pumpkin stuff though,
I
right?
love pumpkin.
Yeah.
pie.
I like pumpkin pie.
And
I'm
pecan
just
pie is good too.
No.
No,
pecan or pecan.
I say pecan.
Yeah, I don't know what I say. I say both depending on the scenario. I'm just curious. I'm gonna shout out another family member, my stepmom Sue. She makes a really good pumpkin pie, and the bottom layer, is she has like a cream cheese Cool Whip like
Ooh.
white layer at the bottom, and then the pumpkin pie normal stuff on top, and that's really good.
I think the
My
only
uncle makes
pumpkin
like a chocolate chip pie, and it's so amazing.
no.
You
None
just
of
don't
that.
like dessert.
Yeah, none of that sounds appetizing to me.
Carrie's mom makes a chocolate chip cheesecake that's really good.
Ooh, yum.
Still no. Like if I need to maximize my stomach space to capacity ratio at Thanksgiving, and it's
Mhm.
not going to waste to useless
Do you
junk.
wear maternity pants?
I don't wear pants at all. I don't play around with Thanksgiving, Megan.
Oh my god! Don't invite me to your house.
I wear shorts, damn it.
Yeah, you
Where's
asked where
your
I'm
head
going.
at?
You asked where I'm going for Thanksgiving, not your house.
I don't waste my stomach space with desserts. I eat.
Well, by that point, you have eaten all of dinner and the appetizers, and
She doesn't get it.
Hmm.
She doesn't get it. No. I don't stop eating on Thanksgiving, Megan. This is why it's my favorite holiday. I eat, I watch football, and then
this
I
is my
snack
favorite
as I'm
holiday
eating,
too.
and then I eat some more after football, and like in between games, I reload. It's just nonstop. And then you eat the next day, the leftovers, which is amazing. I'm drooling on my microphone right now.
You know how, like most every TV show has a Christmas special.
Mhm.
Bob's Burgers.
They have a Thanksgiving special.
Every year they have a Thanksgiving
different one?
episode.
Do I
yeah.
love it?
Because Bob is he owns a burger restaurant.
Mhm.
Yeah. he's
Um,
a chef.
Yeah, but he loves Thanksgiving. He loves making the dinner, and they're always so funny. He
So
talks
the
to his
song that
utensils.
Linda sings in the one episode,
Uh-huh.
I've been singing it like to my sister on Thanksgiving morning for the past few years. And
Nice.
she's like, I fucking hate this.
But
No, that's good.
As
secretly,
she hands me a mimosa,
but
and I'm
secretly
like,
she likes
I'm
it.
singing. I don't remember the lyrics right now. I don't-
Tune in next week for
Yeah.
Megan's performance of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving
the Bob's
performance.
Burgers Thanksgiving.
But it's
show.
not like a real song. Like it's just like her shouting. Like you would know it if you know what I'm talking. Have you heard it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
It's just her like, the turkey looks great. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I think that's a perfect way to end.
Pass the cranberry sauce.
And on that note, thanks for tuning in. Well, hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, or had by
Had.
the time this episode comes around.
So confusing.
It's the space-time
it's
continuum.
Thanksgiving right now, but
It's pre for us, but by the time it's posted, it'll be post Thanksgiving. So let us know. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. What were some of your favorite meals that you've had and that you look forward to, and some of the fun conversations that you might have had. And we'll catch you again on another episode of the Movement is Medicine podcast from Recharge.